Hello, let's see. Hi, this is Elliot Fishman, and I'm trying to move into the screen here. And welcome. Today's Thursday, and I'm now live, it says. Okay. Um, it's Thursday, it's February 3rd. I hope everyone is enjoying February. In Baltimore, the good news is it's about 50 degrees, 40-ish, 50, raining cats and dogs, but it's not a foot of snow. I did read somewhere in the middle of the U.S. or some places they can get a lot of ice storms, so I hope everything is okay wherever you are. COVID numbers, like everywhere, except on the West Coast, are going down. You know, the Omicron variant, hopefully we're doing good on that. Of course, the question is what's going to happen next? Are the numbers going to keep going down, or will they come back up with some crazy variant? We hope not. At Hopkins, as an example, we had 12 or 13 units open for COVID patients. Now it's down to 6. Seems like every day or two I get another notice of another floor closing down, going back to normal. That is just the best news you can possibly have. And I'm on call this weekend. Last time I was on call, I read like hundreds and some odd scans on Saturday, 77 on Sunday, and it was MLK. I read 70 on Monday. A lot of COVID patients. So the good news is that we have less COVID. We're seeing less. I've read ER films, CTs the last couple of days, and I have not seen COVID patients with the pneumonias, which I saw TNTC just a couple of weeks ago. So I think all of us are hoping that these numbers are going to keep going in the right direction, and so that's one thing. Now, the title for today was protocols, and the reason I bring this up is our feeling, of course, always has been that the single most important part of getting a great CT scan is the protocols. If you don't do the right protocol, you're going to miss lesions, right? If you need arterial phase, you do venous only, you're going to miss a lot of METs, like neuroendocrine tumors. If you don't time things correctly, if you don't have patients hold their breath, you're going to miss pulmonary emboli. You're going to miss aortic dissections. You're going to miss liver mets. You're going to miss pancreatic masses. You're going to miss lung nodules. You don't distend the stomach. Every one of your reports said stomach is not distended, cannot rule out gastric pathology, or you simply go and ignore the stomach. So there are many things that are problematic if you don't do the protocols correctly. And particularly if you want to pick up early disease, and that's the business we're in. We want to pick up early pancreatic cancer. We want to pick up subtle GI bleeds. We want to pick up subtle tumors in small bowel and liver and colon and every place else. You really need to have great protocols. Now, COVID has been a problem, right? Because everyone had to wear masks, and so you didn't give people oral contrast because you don't want them taking off the masks, and they didn't want to. You need to get back to normal, get back to where you should be. I don't want to quote the Beatles, get back to where you belong, okay? You need to give oral contrast, whether it's positive contrast or neutral contrast, whether it's water or something like Breza. You need to give contrast to distend the stomach and the bowel. That becomes critical. You need to get IV access. People didn't want to bother patients. Patients were afraid of this, that, and the other. Well, if you're not doing IV contrast, you're going to miss significant portions of lesions. And if you don't deliver contrast correctly, injection rates 4 to 5 cc's, arterial phase when needed, venous phase when needed, delayed phase when needed, multiple phases as needed, you're going to have problems. You're just going to do very poorly. And there's no way around that. I was speaking to our chief tech the other day, and the person we have who's responsible also for training, that we need to meet with the techs again. Remember, people stopped meeting because it was Zoom, and you were short-staffed techs, and then you had temporary techs, you had travel techs, you had newbies, you had old bees. You were just trying to get the work done. No one was worried about the quality, to be honest, as much as getting the work done. It was not a trivial process, and people worked very hard. But I think we're past that madness, and I think we really need to get back to normal. I think there's no excuse to not get back to where we were, Jojo. And that becomes very important. So I think what I'm recommending, what I'm saying to you is look back 2 years. It's 2 years now. What were you doing before that you weren't doing now? Were you having monthly meetings with all your techs to go through protocols? Were you telling people what to do? Were you giving positive reinforcement, the good, the bad, and the ugly of what people do? I know during the COVID time, if the patient, if the tech showed up to work, if the doctor showed up to work, you didn't want to give them any criticism. You would just say, thank you. You're here. We love you. I still think you could say, you're here. We love you. And by the way, could you maybe give oral contrast before the patient gets on the table? And oh yes, by the way, can you make certain that the injection rate and the timing match the protocols that we're doing? We need to get back to normal. And I hate the word getting back to normal. What we're trying to get back to is doing it the right way. We spend a lot of effort. By the way, on CTisus, we just updated all of our protocols. So you can look and see the newest protocols, whether it's something new like some of the valvular protocols or myeloma with dual energy, or just updating and fixing some of the protocols like on renal infection and the like. You need to be looking and thinking and looking to people and saying, okay guys, what are we doing and how are we doing it? We need to do it better. Right, Lydiana? So Lydiana is saying, hi, great to see you. Lydiana's out in Palo Alto. Hey, Lydiana. And I'm sure I know Lydiana works at UCSF, so I know they're not back in person for the most part yet. But yeah, this is getting back to doing it correct. I think getting back to normal sounds bad. If you're getting back to normal, that means the rest of we've been abnormal. It's been trying, but it's not been abnormal. And our techs, I know, for example, have worked very hard to do things right. So I don't want to say we're getting back to normal. I would want to say we're doing a great job, but you got to look into how to do things better. What are we not doing? What slipped through the cracks? I think, look, even the doctors, I mean, yes, you've gone to a million meetings online and listened to a lot of online talks. But as most people tell me, the online thing puts them to sleep. Within 5 minutes, they're snoozing or they're just not even paying attention. The computer's talking to itself. Those hands-on meetings. I've been to one meeting. I saw people in Orlando. It was great. I was in San Diego. It was great. But the next time I'll be traveling, if all's well, will be to University of Pennsylvania meeting in Martha's Vineyard. That'll be great. Great speakers. But, you know, I mean, I go to a meeting every week. Many of you would go to meetings every week or every month or whatever. But we're not traveling. We're not getting that positive reinforcement. We're getting away from people asking questions. Are we doing it right? Are we doing things correctly? Can we do it better? We need to really reinforce that. I think it's very, very important. And I am looking forward to that happening. Again, look at our updates on the website. If there are any specific questions or protocols or issues people have, we are been using, remember we used to use Volumen for like CT enterography. We're using Breeza, which is I think Beckley Pharmaceuticals. We have no conflict of interest, but I do notice the Breeza works very well with very good patient tolerance. We've asked patients, do they like it? And some people say it's a little too sweet, but most people have no problem drinking it, unlike Volumen, and it doesn't give you that issue where post-scan you have massive diarrhea. So it's one of the easy things to do. I think the cost is probably cheaper, but it's not much difference probably. But I'll find out exactly for you. But I think it's very, very important to really be looking at getting back to basics, getting back to doing things correctly. So I think we're really pushing that. Also, I'll tell you, we've been working on a lot of great stuff on CTisus. The newest lumbar spine app, the upgrade is spectacular. We released new apps on the lecture series and on iQuiz within the last week, so you can see those as well. We're working on new things to try to improve our apps and the website. We are, million strong, people looking and doing and seeing, but we're trying to figure out what else can we do better. Let us know. Again, we always like comments. Now, I do appreciate the comments most people give us and say, hey, you're doing a great job. Keep on doing what you're doing. That's okay, particularly when you start off. That's good for your ego. But Our ego is such, we have a really big ego. We know we're doing a good job. We want to do a better job. But the truth of the matter is, for us to do a better job, we need you. We need your help to tell us what it is that you want to see. There are many things we could do, and Lily and Sarah, and myself, Edmund, Elias, look and think of things, and we've been doing things, but you're the users. We have a certain bias because we've done things a certain way. We keep doing things a certain way. When you're a user, you see other sites, and I look at other sites. I look at many, many sites trying to figure out what they do that we would want to copy. And then I look at many things that they do, and I say, what kind of idiot would do that? It's really dumb. But we're not here to say we know it all. We know what we know, but we know what we don't know. But the problem is we don't know what we don't know that we don't know. By the way, that was Donald, I don't say Donald Resnick, he's a radiologist, Donald Rumsfeld, who was the Secretary of Defense under Bush, talking about the known knowns, the known unknowns, but the unknown unknowns. What we would like to really learn is the unknown unknowns. What don't we know that we should know? What is it that we could do differently? Where should we put our effort? We don't have unlimited time, right? We are very busy, like you're very busy. We do many things. This CTisus and Facebook and Instagram are all priorities, but we need to know where to put our effort. And yes, I know that Facebook took a beating today in the stock market. I don't own any Facebook stock, which was a good thing if you had it yesterday, but over the past bunch of years, it probably was a great stock to own. One of the FANGs, F-A-A-N-G, but, and being Netflix. But what I'm saying is, please let us know what it is we need to do, and we'd be happy to do it. So if anyone has any questions, I would be happy to answer those questions. By the way, we are doing Facebook Live. Well, it's not called Facebook Live, it's called YouTube Live. We did the first YouTube Live this week. It was interesting. Didn't have all that many people, but they were from like 9 different countries in 7 different continents. So that was very exciting. And we're looking at, is that someplace we should be? Should we be at TikTok? Lily tells me we could do TikTok and I don't have to dance. I did look at TikTok. I'm not a TikTok user, but I did look and everybody was dancing or doing all sorts. I don't know what they're doing. But, maybe we got to come up with a radiology TikTok that's not obscene or something. I have to give that some thought. But maybe we should be at TikTok. I don't know. But Lily is going to find out if we should be at TikTok. We want more input from people. We're thinking about we have an app where we're going to have 2 versions. We want maybe you guys to tell us which version is better and why. Which version should we use going forward, and which version should we use as a template for doing newer applications? So we're always learning, always trying to do better. So with that, I see there are no questions. I'll say hi to Meg Fines, who's in New Jersey, and after many years at Hopkins. And I said hi to Lydiana already, out west, and Monteverda, and that's about it. So with that, I hope everyone has a great day. There's Lily, the CTisus on TikTok. Damn, I got to go look at that. I hope they don't have me dancing. If you want to know how I dance, I'm sure it's incredible. No, but if you want to know how I dance, I was kicked out of dance class for my daughter's wedding because they said I had no potential even to survive a wedding. If you know that show where Elaine dances on Steinfeld, where she kind of does the dancing where it looks like a train wreck or a robot that's about to disintegrate itself. That's kind of how I dance, sort of, kind of looking like Elaine. Though that would be a compliment if I look like Elaine. Anyway, with that, I'll see you guys later and have a great day.